Transformers: The Last Knight comes out in less than a week, and I've said it time and time again, Transformers movies are a guilty pleasure of mine, so I'm definitely excited for this movie. And I'm going to give you guys the top 10 things that I think need to be in Transformers: The Last Knight. Starting at number 1, there needs to be less stupid humor. Now when I say stupid humor, I am referring to the Michael Bay type humor that we got so much of in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and quite a bit of in Age of Extinction. I feel like in the first Transformers movie and Dark of the Moon, they had Michael Bay on a tighter leash, and in the other two movies, they kind of let some slack out, and it showed in the quality of the humor in those movies. It just wasn't good. It needs to be taken a little more seriously. Yes, I know that these movies are geared more toward kids and selling toys, but come on, give us a more serious movie. Like the trailers. The trailers for these movies always look so incredible. But then you go see the movie, it's like, what? That's not what they were advertising. This was supposed to be like a really epic and cool movie. Sure, the action scenes are epic and cool, but the story with all the humor just is awful. We've been tricked 4 times. It's the 5th time. We know what we're getting pretty much, but we're hoping for better because there was a team of writers doing this movie. So let's find out. I'm excited. I hope that there's less stupid humor, but we have seen a little bit of it with the Jimmy J character. The kids, they're going to get super annoying in my opinion. I think so. But there's really not that many other comedic relief characters that we've seen in the trailers. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. At number 2, give Bumblebee his voice back. I thought it was fun and cute that Bumblebee spoke through the radio because his voice was broken in the first Transformers movie. By the end of that movie, he was actually talking again. And then in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, he goes back to speaking through the radio. Now, they mention that in dialogue, saying, no, he's playing it up, he's not having voice problems really, but they carry that on for the next 3 movies. So, is his voice still broken or what? Because they do show that in one of the trailers and TV spots that they're fixing his voice and he gets Siri's voice. But I would like to see Bumblebee get his real voice back, especially if he's going to be facing off against Optimus. He needs to be talking as the character and not through the radio. That's just my opinion. I thought it was cute and cool at first. It's gotten annoying. At number 3, there needs to be less explosions. Everyone always says it. It's Bayhem. It's Michael Bay's explosions. They always look like fireworks with the sparklers coming out. Most of the time it just looks fake. But the fact is, these are like robotic aliens firing like energy weapons. So the explosions do make sense for them to be happening, but the way that some of them happen just do not work at all. There's a scene in Transformers: Age of Extinction where Grimlock is coming at Optimus and he hits him. Nothing happens below Grimlock as he's falling, but explosions are happening. The same happens when Galvatron first transforms. He's like pixelated flying over the divider between the highway, and there's explosions going off for no reason. Quit that. It doesn't need to be there. Okay? At number 4, we need more drama in these movies. Now, what I mean by drama is we need to actually feel like a character is at risk of dying in these movies. Yes, we've had Optimus die in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, but he comes back to life at the end of the movie. It was kind of like Star Trek Into Darkness when Kirk dies and just a couple minutes later he's brought back to life. We all saw it coming. And what they need to do in this one is they need to kill off an important character. Give us some stakes. Give us something to care about in this movie. I honestly think that they could kill Bumblebee or Optimus in this movie. They keep saying in these newer TV spots, the final chapter, the final battle. I don't think this is the final movie for the Transformers. I mean, we already have a Bumblebee movie in the works. I thought we had another Transformers movie coming out in 2019 as well. So what they're saying, the final battle, it's Michael Bay's final battle probably, but not the Transformers as the characters. So again, they really do need to kill off a character. I still think that it could be Optimus because Peter Cullen is getting up in age and he's not going to want to do this for the rest of his life. At number 5, we need a more cohesive story, meaning we need to connect this movie to the previous movies and to future movies. They have a team of writers that came up with a bunch of ideas, a few of which are probably in this movie, but we need them to start planning ahead instead of just going movie to movie to movie to movie. That's what they've done in the past 4 movies, and they're all just standalone, pretty much. I mean, yes, they do take place after the events of the one that came before it, but they need more connections between the movies. The most connection that we got from movie to movie was from Age of Extinction, looking back at Dark of the Moon, because it was all about like Chicago. They were talking about Chicago and how it was destroyed and how people lost family members. And even that sign, remember Chicago, that was good. I loved that aspect of the movie. We need more of that. They show us the pyramids in one of the TV spots. Actually, I think it was in one of the trailers as well. They're being destroyed. Tell us or show us that you are acknowledging Revenge of the Fallen and how the sun harvester was underneath one of those pyramids. That's what we need. We need more just connections between these movies. Stop making them just one-offs. At number 6, we definitely need more transformations. And what I mean by transformations is we need to see the characters transform. And none of that pixelated crap that we got in Age of Extinction. That was awful. I talked about that in my review. It was horrible. It was cheating. And what they need to stop doing is hiding the Transformers as they're transforming behind something. They did that a lot in Age of Extinction. I think we only got like 3, maybe 4 full transformations on screen. And that's what we all loved about all the first 3 Transformers, is they showed more of that because it was cool. It's still cool, okay? We still love seeing the Transformers transform. At number 7, we definitely need a more Transformers character-centered plot. Now, I talked about this in my review for Age of Extinction, that Transformers Age of Extinction was a more Transformers-centered plot on Optimus Prime. And I liked that aspect of that movie. I loved that part. But the screen time wasn't dedicated as much. The plot, yes. But what we need is a good balance of plot and screen time dedicated to the Transformers characters. We want them to figure out what they need to do, not the humans. We need less human characters and more Transformers characters. And what I mean by characters is Transformers with characteristics, with voices, not like characters like Jolt that showed up in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. All he does is 2 things. He walks around when all the humans are surrounding them like, get off our planet. And then at the end of the movie, he electrocutes Optimus with Jetfire's parts and puts them together. That's all that character does. He has no lines. He shows up as a car mode once, maybe twice. But that's it. He's not in it very much. And don't give us characters like Dino from Dark of the Moon either, because he only has a couple lines. We know nothing about this character. He's just red, and he's a fighter, and he has an Italian accent. That's all. Even Sideswipe. We didn't really get to know Sideswipe that much. And he was a cool and interesting character. We wanted to get to know him, but we didn't. Give us more characters like that, and give us a more centered plot on those characters, and your movie will be great. At number 8, explain the new characters or the new forms. Now what I mean by that is we have Drift having a new form in this movie as opposed to Age of Extinction. In Age of Extinction, he was a Bugatti. In this one, he's a Mercedes. While we don't need a full explanation, because we know that they can just scan a car and then they take on that part. But why? Why did he do it? Bugatti was a cooler car in my opinion. Why would you change your car mode? Anyway, that's just a tiny piece. We don't really need that, but it'd be cool to see. Barricade is back. Explain how he has survived all this time. He disappeared at the end of Transformers. He seemingly died at the end of Transformers Dark of the Moon. I mean, he got his eyes shot out. He got his leg blown off, I thought. I thought he died. And it was a disappointing death because it's like, Bumblebee should have killed him. Now he's back to get revenge on Bumblebee, and I hope that they develop that rivalry a little bit more, but they probably won't. I do want them to explain how he has survived and why he's going after Bumblebee. They might save that for the Bumblebee movie next year, which would be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that, but they need to explain it eventually. Now, Megatron has a new form in this movie. He's also not known as Galvatron, so they really do need to explain why Megatron is not Galvatron anymore, where he got his new form, and is he still that KSI type of being? Because in one of those TV spots, we do get to see Megatron actually transform from a jet to his robot mode. So it looks like he's not KSI material stuff anymore. He's a Cybertronian. So they need to explain that and how he got that new form, the robot look, because he's never looked like that before. At number 9, Megatron needs to be the main villain. This looks to be possibly Megatron's last go-round. They've had him in 5 movies. Yes, in the last one he was known as Galvatron and he wasn't really the main villain, but that was to their disadvantage. They should have still made him one of the main villains, because in the final battle he just kind of disappears. It's just Lockdown. We have only gotten Megatron as the main villain in 1 movie, and that was the first one. In Revenge of the Fallen was the bad guy. In Dark of the Moon, Sentinel was the main bad guy. In Age of Extinction, Lockdown was the main bad guy. Can we just please have Megatron as the main villain at least one more time? It doesn't look like it's going to happen in this movie. I think Quintessa is going to be the bad guy in this movie, which is a shame because she's like really small. But again, I still think Megatron needs his time to shine one more time. At number 10, we need an overarching villain. Kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done with Thanos, Transformers movies really need to do the same thing or similar thing with Unicron. Unicron is the big planet-sized Transformer. They could do so much with that character, and they have chosen not to do anything yet. And it looks like they're going to start hinting at it in this movie. I really want them to. I am still hoping that the planet that is flying toward Earth is Unicron. It might not be, it might still be Cybertron, but I have noticed one thing in the TV spots. When they're showing the wider shot of Earth and that other planet, the other planet's much smaller than Earth. In Dark of the Moon, Cybertron was a lot bigger than Earth, if I remember correctly. So I don't think that's Cybertron anymore. But anyway, back to my point, they really do need an overarching villain like Unicron to just be this menacing force that has been looming out in space, waiting for the Autobots to be at their weakest and then attack, or something, because something needs to happen in the next movie or at the end of this movie. I would honestly love to see a post-credit scene hinting at the next movie for the Transformers, okay? And a bonus thing that I just want to talk about is they really need a resolution in this movie. What's hurt the Transformers movies so much is after the big climactic battle, minutes or seconds later, the credits are rolling. We need a resolution to these movies. Something needs to happen at the end that's not just action, 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 boom, you're done. It needs to be resolved. We need closure to the movie. We also, like I said in the last point, we need hints at the next movie or the next villain. So that's what I really think needs to happen in Transformers: The Last Knight. So guys, those are my thoughts on what I think need to happen in Transformers: The Last Knight. What do you want to see in Transformers: The Last Knight? Do you want to see Megatron as the main villain? Do you want to see an overarching villain hinted at or shown like Unicron? Or do you want Bumblebee to get his voice back? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm going to try and go see Transformers: The Last Knight Tuesday night. We have some early showings that night at around 8 o'clock, so I'm going to try and go to see that movie then. And hopefully I'll get that spoiler-free review up for you on Wednesday morning, and then a spoiler-filled review later that week or that weekend. So I'm excited for this movie, guys. Can't wait to see it, and can't wait to review it. So if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a big ol' thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of when we upload new content. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.